Same two to duel again tonight. The starting goaltenders, Kari Lehtinen has strung 3 wins in a row together for the first time since late March. Darcy Kemper at the other end is once again starting against the Stars following a game in which he was pulled in.
Tyler Seguin, Mikko Koivu at center ice. Seguin leads the NHL with 17 goals. Koivu doesn't have one in his last dozen and has just 2 for the season. Zucker trying to barrel in, and Seguin caught him. Seguin, Ben, and Patrick Eaves up front to start things out for Lindy Ruff. John Klingberg, number 3, partnered with Alex Goligoski, and Klingberg keeps the Wild away, but off of a Dallas player on the bench.
Well, no doubt Lindy Ruff has seen a little frustration in his group, especially here at home, but winning will alleviate a little bit of that, and they feel like a much more buoyant group here lately. Tonight in the homestand finale, brisk puck movement in the attacking zone, especially if the Wild want to clog it up and try to block shots, and really smart with the puck up the ice. Turnovers could be deadly.
Trevor Daley up the wall then. Colton Sevier back of the net. Cody Eakin with Colton Sevier and Antoine Roussel. Ryan Garbett serving the first of a 2-game suspension. Pominville has the puck. Parise stumbles at center but takes it in. Eakin hounding him, and Trevor Daley tipped that shot behind the net. Pominville trying to center it. He does, right to Sevier, who doesn't get it out. Suter to Granlund. Now to Parise. Pominville shove. Zach hit it off the side of the net. Bouncing into the corner. Daley with an eye on Parise. He goes to the line for Suter. In on Granlund. Deflected to Eakin, and the Stars fail to clear again. Granlund ripped it. Demers blocked it. Demers partnered with Trevor Daley here for Dallas. Demers tangled with Granlund. Pominville to the boards. He picked it up neatly with his skate. Giving it to Spurgeon. Roussel's without a stick. Spurgeon walking in, letting him the stop. The Wild swarming here in the Dallas zone. Pominville swung. Parise digging forward in front. Daley kept him away, but Granlund burrowing in. Eakin ties him up. Stars finally up with the puck, and Demers to center for Roussel. You would think they'll get their change here. They will. Spezza comes roaring after it. Kemper up the boards. It's over Hemsky's head and away from a changing Dallas bench. Icing against Minnesota.
Mike Yeo wondering why that wasn't called for going off someone's glove. I think at the bench is what he's lobbying for right now rather than an icing. He's coming off a loss to the Kings in which they were essentially beheaded early. 4-0 after the first. Off night all around. Prior to that, they were rolling pretty good. They'd won 5 of 6.
They're just above Dallas in the standings. 2 points ahead, both on the outside looking in, but both close to the top 8. Kyle Brodziak nudged it to the Dallas line. Goes back to get it in the Minnesota zone. Nino Niederreiter leads them with 10 goals, and he's been hot as a firecracker lately. Vanek not so much. We talked about that. Lehtinen starting the attack with a pass to Hemsky. On to Spezza, and the Stars are offside at the line. No matter as Niederreiter hauled it out. Cole took it away and tried to lumber his way past Brodziak. Couldn't do it. Jonas Brodin back in the lineup for Mike Yeo. He missed 7 games. The 4th Wild defenseman sidelined with the mumps this season. Brodin from center ice, shooting it in. It hit Bickle. Minnesota would be offside, so they cleared the zone, giving Goligoski some room. Up the middle to Fiddler. Wanted to pass to Klingberg. Eric Haula got a piece of that. Klingberg back for the puck. Magical things have happened when John Klingberg has had the puck on his stick. He feeds Moen at center ice. Cracks it around the boards. Barkov and Fiddler aboard with him. Klingberg missed the puck. Barkov kept it away from Zucker. Dumba tried to bang it out. Klingberg held it in. It ricochets to center. Klingberg spilled in front of the Minnesota bench. And Jokipaka on with the change. Seguin intercepts. There's Ben walking in. Ben tried to cut. Seguin couldn't pick it up, and Zucker is creamed. There's going to be a penalty coming up against the Stars. The delayed call is Dumba. Moves it into the Dallas zone. Shot it around the boards. Pominville with the extra attacker on. Lays it out to Suter. Seguin makes contact, and Minnesota going on the power play.
This is a puzzling call, I think. Another look at it. The puck gets turned over. Zucker has it, and there's nothing wrong with that hit. He's locked on him. The puck goes through. They called it tripping, I believe. You could maybe maybe by a portion of interference, but that's not tripping. I'm with you, Lindy. He led with the shoulder, knocked the player off the puck. It's just a good hockey play, and instead the Stars are shorthanded here. See how this goes. There was a rough shift earlier that they spent in their own zone. This is not the most potent power play in the league, though.
No. 1 for 41 on the road this season. Demers off the face-off win, and that hits someone on the Dallas bench. Ryan Suter makes sure everybody knows.
Well, a couple of guys that they expect to score for them. One we documented in the spotlight tonight, and you see how dreadful they've been on the road. I mean, 2%. If you're mid-pack when you're around 17, 18%, somewhere in there. Good power plays. Well, the best power play in the league right now is Pittsburgh. They're at 33%, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Roussel finds the puck and cranks it over Pominville's outstretched glove.
Well, Pominville and Vanek are guys that they have to have score for them on their #1 power play, and they just haven't done it.
Pominville hasn't scored much either. Talked about Vanek's woes. He only has 4. He had 30 last year. Vanek's pass right to Demers. Kept it away from Parise. And Fiddler took a look at it. He'll let Pominville chase it down, and Dallas will roll over a change. Stars penalty killing in the bottom third. They were 2 for 2 in the win against Edmonton the other night. That halted a string of games in which they yielded a power play tally in 4 straight. Good defending here. Jyrki Jokipakka sends it down.
Well, you can tell when a power play just has no confidence in what they're doing, and I think we've witnessed it here for the first minute.
Suter up ahead. Granlund takes the line with some speed. Niederreiter hemmed in. That's Coyle back of the net. Pitching it out to Spurgeon at the right point. Granlund's in front of the goal. Spurgeon trying to find a lane. He does. That's off Lettinen, and then Granlund finds it. To Coyle along the boards. Jokipakka took it away and clears it again.
The save you have to get. I like the way the Stars are killing penalties right now. It doesn't seem like they can improve their percentage that much, but I like the way they're going about their business.
Granlund back over again. Niederreiter sending it deep. Daly takes the body. Demers back to the net. Coyle on play off the board. Scandella to Spurgeon. He'll send it down. Set it down. Now Scandella shooting. Ooh, a rocket. Went up high. Caught the glass and leaves the playing surface with 18 left on the Alexiak minor.
Well, every power play has what they call a net front guy now, and Granlund gravitated to that area for the Wild. You can see him in behind everyone. They have the I formation going. And the way the Stars have gone about their business lately is to just leave that guy to the goaltender. Goligoski handles the guy in front of him. And Kari Lettinen essentially says, I have this guy, then it's 4-on-4 on the perimeter. You even out the numbers that way. I remember Marty Turco back in the day against Detroit used to say that all the time. Leave Holmstrom to me, maybe the best net front guy ever. And then you guys just play 4 aside on the other individuals out there, because it really is even strength if you include your goaltender.
Ed Belfour had an interesting way of handling people in front of the stand.
He had the tickler.
It was effective. Suter comes to the middle, but somebody was picked, I think, off the face-off, and so Minnesota takes a minor.
Yeah, I picked them going to the point, yeah.
There you go. He knew exactly what he did. That's why he almost beat the referee's whistle to the box. The Wild captain, Mikko Koivu. He's on the inside here. As he takes his man to the boards. No, way it goes. It was relatively easy. You could tell how guilty he sounded. Most guys argue their way over the...
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I picked him. You're right.
I got him. Well, 4-on-4 hockey here, and then the Stars will go on the power play. Kemper back of the net, gives it to Scandella. Sagan trying to steal it, but he moves it ahead to Granlund. Ben got back, but it's behind Sagan inside the zone. Nate Prosser sends it over. Scandella with a look at the clock, realizing now Minnesota is shorthanded, so he can do that.
I think that needs to change, too. I really do. Icing when you're shorthanded. Why? Why would they allow that?
Yep. Further penalizing the team who took the penalty.
Yeah.
Klingberg stretching out. Klingberg handing it over to Ben. Tried to go across the box and out. It is blocked by Brodziak.
Too much telegraphing of that one. It was easy read for the long reach of Brodziak.
Klingberg, 5-game point streak. Gave it to Ben. Across the ice for Sagan. Shooting it. Save Kemper. Rebound off Ben. Spurgeon backhands it out.
Bill Spurgeon's in every situation defender for them. Good play on his backhand after a hot shot from Sagan.
Spezza reorganizing Dallas's attack at center. He draws coverage and then coughs up the puck. Klingberg taking it away from Carter, fighting through a hook at center ice. And fighting back against Carter, who strips him. They get it ahead to Niederreiter. Look out! Backhand! Save Lettinen. That's the wrong guy. Spurgeon teeing up. Lettinen blocks it out of play.
Well, this is a ridiculous breakaway to give up. You're on the power play. Watch where everyone loads on this 50-50 battle along the boards. After the turnover, okay, that's a no-no. But they're in pretty good stead. Now, if you stop it right here, just stop it. Why is everyone up ice? There are two Minnesota Wild players that can go against the grain. They win this puck. Everyone's waiting for it to go the other direction. That should never happen.
Stars win the faceoff in their own zone. Less than half a minute remaining on the power play. Unless this power play, like their penalty killing, ranked 22nd. Daly shoots it around the boards. Hemsky heaves after it in the corner. Jason Demers lost the puck. Here comes Brodziak from center ice. He'll skip one in wide of Lettinen's goal. Hall is behind Eakin, absorbing a hit there. Daly rescues, but they really didn't get a sniff. Wilder back at full strength.
But what a stop by Kari Lettinen on that breakaway, too. Wow. He's been their best player here in the first 7.5 minutes.
Shots 4-1 Minnesota. Coyle takes the outlet pass from Suter. Minnesota is offside. Dallas and the Wild scoreless.
Stars right winger Colton Seager missed the morning skate. He was ill today, but he's good to go here tonight. He's in the lineup after missing the last couple. They also called up Curtis McKenzie. They needed the extra forward because Ryan Garbutt is unavailable. He got a penalty for tripping late in the game against the Edmonton Oilers, but supplemental discipline from the league gave him a 2-game suspension. Kneeing, also a repeat offender. He had the suspension against Anaheim last year within a 14-month span, I believe it is, if you're a repeat offender. And there was no injury to Hall, which was the good thing, both for Hall and for the Stars and Garbutt, I think.
Yep.
Would have been a lengthier suspension if he had been injured.
And a lot more money. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? 40.
Well, it's a lot. And it was the time of game, everything was just icky about it.
Here comes Spurgeon knifing his way in against Daly. Daly blocks the shot. And the spin out of trouble, spun into it. Zach Parise. To the line for Spurgeon, over to Suter. Back to Parise. Too hot for his stick. Daly's taking off, and Horcoff bangs it out. A little too far. Both teams make changes. Stars have won 3 straight at home. Also 5 of their last 8 as they're starting to pick it up a little bit. They need to pick it up. Jokipaka swung at Niederreiter. A shot, he scores! And Minnesota cashes in. It's 1-0.
Well, he was as wide open as you're going to find. A simple dump in. You can see that Jokipaka peeked over his shoulder to rim it around the boards to Eric Cole, but it was picked off beautifully and immediately fired in front to maybe their hottest goal scorer right now, Nino Niederreiter. That's what, 7 goals in the last 8 games for him. He just had that chance shorthanded. That time, the stunner from 10 feet. Stars have not played well to start this game and deserve to be behind 1-0.
Puck goes off Cole. Vanek, who cut off that pass along the boards and gave it to Niederreiter, shot it into Dallas ice. Alexiak ahead to Spezza. He'll give it to Hemsky. Carving his way into the zone against Scandella. Shot it wide. Cole mauling Brodin back there, who escapes his clinches. Popped it out the center. Alexiak to Eric Cole. Ball rumbling down the left wing side. Bumped with Koivu. Scandella took the man. Wild. Have the puck. Threw it away to Goligoski at center ice. Koivu waiting for Vanek to get back on side. Then he slams it around. Benn to Klingberg. Across the ice to Goligoski. And to Klingberg again. On the wing, he banks it ahead to Benn. Into the Minnesota zone. Benn hands it off. Seguin in front, and Eaves missed the net. Suter, lead pass to Coyle. Klingberg going in with Coyle back of the goal. Eaves there to help. And Benn hinging it to Klingberg again. Pass up the middle, missed Eaves. Suter played it to the wall. Haula passing forward. Carter to Coyle at the Dallas line. Carter occupying space. Coyle moving in for a shot. Save Lettinen. Goligoski to the line, not out. Dumba shooting it deep. Goligoski having trouble with Haula. They jam in the corner. Klingberg looking to rescue the puck, but it goes to Carter. Carter twisting away. Out to the line. Shot blocked. Carter couldn't get his hand on the rebound. And it's Prosser firing it across. Trevor Daley up to Sevier, spun off of Parise, into the zone. Shot it, saved Kemper. Roussel pumped it, pad stop Kemper. Demers through the slot. Roussel firing it in, and again, Kemper is at the ready. Midway through the first, Nino Niederreiter's team leading 11 puts the Wild on top 1-0 in Big D.
Well, probably the best chance the Stars have had to score in the game. Tyler Seguin involved, but as a passer this time, not a finisher. They get through neutral ice well. Jamie Benn and company kind of chunk their way in, and then Seguin could never really get the puck to settle down, and once he got it over to Patrick Eaves, you could see it jumping around. He just one-times it. Good idea. Right shooter on the left side. If he hits the net, it's in, but it was tough to get around Spurgeon's leg and have any kind of accuracy because of the way that puck was moving.
Herc Fiddler won 7 of 10 in the win against Edmonton the other night. Stars control off this faceoff. But the Wild clear, and Pominville trying to get a step on Trevor Daley. Daley recovering with the stick. Family night has never been more fun thanks to the Dr. Pepper Family Pack. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 Dr. Peppers, all for about the same as it costs to do dinner and a movie. Get your Dr. Pepper Family Pack today at DallasStars.com/specials.
Good strong throng here tonight for this one between these two rivals of the Central Division. Stars have come out, I mean, they've had moments, but for the most part, they've sort of tiptoed their way into this game and spent way too much time in their own zone and not defending well.
Randall easing it down the boards. Pominville in pursuit. Goligoski bumped. Klingberg tossing it into the corner. Wild collects Scandella's shot. Lettinen's there, and it's out of play off his stick.
It's the same thing over and over again. They've been very aggressive with their forecheck. That's how they scored their goal. You know, force a rim around the boards, cut the boards off, and then utilize the middle of the ring. And on the goal against, the Stars had vacated the middle. This time they've got it plugged up on one side a little bit, but they utilize their points and get another puck to the net on Kari Lettinen, who's been busy.
Seguin wins this puck. Benn has to deal with Vanek. He does.
The old reversal. Haven't seen that in a while.
Learned that one from Brendan Morrow.
Yeah.
Ryan Suter, nobody logs more ice time per game in the NHL. Number 20, but a bad pass there. Comes right back his way, and he got himself off the hook. Rodziak from center. Giving it to Brodin. Back to Suter. Reunited again. Here comes Brodin. Shooting it around the boards. Niederreiter is over there. Klingberg fell. Benn up with the puck, and here come the Stars. Benn to Seguin. Couldn't get away from Suter, and Niederreiter bumped by Eaves. The play whistled offside.
Couldn't get away from Suter or Niederreiter coming back. That's just diligent back-checking by the Wild winger, the goal scorer in the game here tonight. I think he's a really good one who's only getting better and better. Swiss-born, played his junior hockey out in the Western Hockey League. the New York Islanders rushed him. This is the player they thought he was going to be, but they wanted him to be this player at what, age 19? It's not going to happen. And the Islanders then weren't the Islanders that they are this year.
Jyrki Jokipaka to Alexiak. Hemsky tipped it wide. Just about.
A lot of drive-by in this game, though, especially from the Stars. A lot of motion and swing, not a lot of stop.
Alexiak has to slam the brakes on to defend Coyle. Gave it to Spurgeon. A drive, block, dribbling in off Lettinen. Hemsky has it tied up in his skates, back of the net. Coyle poked it around. Spezza toward Aaron Cole at center. Scandella to Spurgeon, though, at the Minnesota line. The Wild have full control, as they have had in this first period. 13 minutes old. Stu Bickel, quickly used winger. The Wild playing in just his third game this season. Contained Bobby out. Stars forced that one out, and Cody Eakin racing after it. Kemper guns it ahead and ices the puck.
See if they can spend a little bit of time down around that man, Darcy Kemper. I mean, he's been pretty sharp on the stuff that has been sent his way. It's an odd thing. He got pulled against the Buffalo Sabres at home. He didn't make a save, gave up 2 goals on 2 shots. Then he won 2-1 here. Now he's coming back after giving up 4 goals on 10 shots in the first period against LA. He's got some bounce back in him. I'll give him that.
Oh, Roussel set up nicely by Sevier, but the Wild there to defend it.
Yeah, extremely well defended.
Jason Demers with the Stars for a week. Stars traded Brendan Dillon to San Jose to get him here. Eakin in, shooting. Kemper off the glove. Boy, the seas parted for Cody Eakin. He took what appeared to be a stick up high there. Daly shooting. Off Kemper. Back to Daly in the corner. Deep to Roussel. Granlund has him cut off. Roussel fighting back. Dragging it with him. Roussel swung it through the blue paint, but out to Daly at the line. Send it in deep for Roussel. Tried to pass it towards Sevier. Ryan Suter was draped on him, and out comes Parise. Pass to Granlund. Stolen by Sagan. He's alone in the Minnesota zone and overwhelmed. Pominville from outside the line. Banks it right to Ben. Goligoski up ahead. Eaves trudging through. Eaves overtaking Spurgeon and then spinning in the corner to find the puck to Goligoski. And he shanked it. But he recovers to knock the puck away from Zucker. Goligoski off Sagan. Rodin first man back for the puck. Sagan forcing him around his own net. Comes with a head of steam. Ben intercepted the pass, and the Wild again reorganizing. Zucker to center. Here comes Klingberg. Over the line. Gave it to Moen. Morkov and Scandella scrap forward in the corner. Others join. Coyle, Fiddler. Scandella emerging with the puck, but he ran into Fiddler. Koivu, Minnesota captain, pumped it out.
Stars trying to do to the Wild what they've done to the Stars here in the opening period, and that's get after them with a couple of guys deep in their zone on the forecheck. Make them earn their way out of their own zone.
Fiddler steered it in. Suter sends it out, and Jyrki Jokipaka pursued back into his own zone by Vanek.
That's what I like about him, especially. He's got good feet, they call it. He can move his boots around a little bit to get away, buy a little bit of time, and make a good play.
He's again pressured by Niederreiter. Hemsky there to help. Out to Spezza, good catch. Hemsky in stride at the line. Hemsky shooting. Kemper makes the save. Keeping Ales Hemsky and the Stars off the score sheet. 4:08 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Wild in Dallas.
One of the other responsibilities of a goaltender in hockey is communication with his defenseman. And you can hear the bark to Brodin on this dump in to wheel. Listen. You can see that there's only one forward coming. If he wheels around the net, which means skate with it, then you can get away from their forecheck and get out of the zone. So good communication between the goalie and the defenseman.
I would think you were a superb communicator as a goaltender.
In many different languages, Ralph.
Doesn't surprise me. Cole put it in front. Spezza was jammed up. Brodziak into the Dallas zone. Hemsky coming back, but it fell off his stick. Haula fired it wide out of the pile. Brodziak to Carter, back of the goal. Haula off to the side. Shooting it, tipped, save Lettman. Daly forced, so is Cole.
Where this line's had some iffy shifts here in the first period. Another one they get away with there.
Hemsky tosses it back. Daly, to accommodate the rest of the change, gave it to Demers.
Most of my communication with my defenseman, though, was just sorry.
Here comes Sagan, shooting, save Kemper, and he holds it.
He's getting some shots in full flight, which I always think is a good, real good sign with Tyler Sagan. It's his ability to shoot while he's moving like that and get a ton on it. You know, it comes scampering through, grabs it, feet still moving. What it does is it forces the goaltender to have to move a little bit as he's shooting it. Well played by Kemper that time, who's a big boy. That's got to be what, at least three? Couple for Sagan. Two of them have hit him right in the torso. He had that sweet feed to his winger, too, Eaves earlier. Ben thinks he's going to win this.
Against Koivu. And Eaves, right off the face-off, and shot it wide. Yoki pocket deep. Eaves tapped it along to Ben. Oleksiak shooting, tip just wide by Eaves. Rebound chance, and Kemper is there to cover up, and Eaves has had about 3 good looks.
I really like him, not just as a player, but as a guy. He's stocky, he's smart, he can fit on any line. Off this face-off, he jumps it, he's on his forehand, so as it just lays there, maybe Ben anticipated he was just going to tie up Koivu that time, and then right after it, nice little deflection that misses by a whisker. So he's had 3 good scoring chances here in the first 17 minutes.
That line stays out. Big tangle in the face-off circle. Ben jumped over there. Here comes Klingberg. Tossing it deep. Sagan. Back to Klingberg. Gloves it down. Wanted to go back to Sagan. Koivu tripped up Sagan for Klingberg. Klingberg turning toward the middle, and then he's tripped up, put it back of the net. Scandella shot it to the line. Goligoski keeping it in, but Koivu escapes with the puck. On the wing to Prosser. Has a step on Sagan. Shot it, save, rebound, score! Zucker and the Wild have a 2-0 lead.
Again, this is just poor defensive coverage off the rush. It all starts well. Tyler Sagan backs things up. You know, he's back to help out. Not numbers coming at him. They're in good stead. They give up a little too much room on the outside, and everybody gets puck focused. Prosser to the defenseman with a rebound-generating shot to the pad. Ben is late and soft on the rebound. And little Zucker walks right in there and pops it into the yawning net. Good.
Zucker's 9th. Prosser gets the primary assist, and Dallas is offside on the re-engagement.
This feels like a return to the it's not what you make, it's what you leave games. And the Stars have left a couple of Minnesota Wild players solo in front of the net. Zucker stretching something out. He's dartingly quick. You know, when he scoots in there, it's not easy for anybody else to pick him up, but I think the Stars just got watching a little bit on the simple shot from around the corner and got exposed.
Shot out of a pile. Granlund back of the net. Parisi's in front of it. Jockeying for position. Prosser to Scandella. Sevier up to challenge. Shot tipped wide. Comes off the end boards. Parisi. Pominville. Runs it along Sevier. Worked off his skates. Parisi passed it off. Pominville got a shot away. Saved Lettinen. And again, Dallas under duress here in their own zone. Sevier lifting it to the line. It's knocked back in, but Wild clear. Here comes Daly. Pass ahead to Roussel.
Offside again. He's just like a half step too quick on those stretch breakaway passes. He was the Stars' best player in the 2-1 loss to the Wild here, and they don't do that very often, lose to the Minnesota Wild on home ice, but they've dug themselves a sizable first period hole here tonight.
Well, the Wild's top 2 goal scorers have scored in the game. Dallas has 2 goals this season against Minnesota, Roussel and Fiedler. Vanek chips it over. Niederreiter barreling in there with Oleksiak. He'll tie him up. Oleksiak will. On the wing to Moen. Got it past Suter to center ice. Vanek pressured by Fiedler. Spurgeon handing it to Suter. Up off Brodziak and in. Oleksiak back of the net. Jokipaka to Fiedler. Horkoff and Moen. Fiedler into the slot. Niederreiter coming back to grab that pass. It's deflected. Final minute of the first period. Brodziak. The attack was staunched. Brodin will try it. Missed Vanek icing against Minnesota.
Well, an opportunity from a set play here in the final minute to see if they can cut this lead in half. It's been a very good opening road period for Mike Yeo and his crew, and almost right from the get-go, that shift they spent in their own zone was like a harbinger of things to come here in the opening frame.
Spezza's having a good first period on the dot. He wins another one. That's Hemsky shooting it. Kemper has it in there.
Didn't seem like it was very secure in there as he goes for a skate to the corner. That might have hit him on bone and meat rather than equipment. Curl around the top side. Little wrister from a severe angle. Should never go in. And as he plays this one, I think it caught him somewhere where there's no padding. He's shaking it off. He's done a little bit of everything in this opening period, Kemper.
Koivu and Spezza again, 39 seconds remaining in the frame. Spezza wins another faceoff, but Coyle jumped it. Klingberg cuts him off at center. Oligoski, and there's Hemsky. Right up the middle. Takes it over, gave it to Cole. To Hemsky, put it in for Spezza, and he's crushed in the corner. Klingberg pressing along the boards. Cole came in to throw a hit on Coyle, but the Wild break out 3-on-1 to the Dallas line. Koivu moving in. Koivu centering it. Backhand shot went wide by Zucker. Cole up ahead. First period ends, and they can do better than this.
Well, that line had a rough opening period. The hope is they'll get better or broken up as this game moves along. But the big difference for me in the first period, the gap of the Wild is tight. The gap of the Stars forwards and defensemen is wide, and that's why they're up by a couple of goals.
Fifth game of the 5-game homestand. Dallas has won 3 straight, but they trail Minnesota 2-0 after 1. Lindy Ruff, James Patrick, Kirk Fraser standing behind the Dallas bench. Potentially between periods, Lindy had words for his Chargers. Fraser, what might he have said to them?
Well, they weren't very good, and especially on the defensive side of the puck. They, turnovers, they've chased a lot. They're not eliminating people. They'll get better. We'll blame it on turkey legs for a period.
For Vern Fiedler, who said he doesn't do that anymore. He eats on Wednesday just to make sure. Eakin shuts it down. He's out there with Ben and Sagan to start the second period. There's Ben covering at the line. Puck drifted to him. Plunks it in deep. Sagan took a swing on the backhand and chases the puck. Coyle got there first. Pivots away from Sagan. Eakin throwing his body into the corner. Brodin with a pass ahead. Koivu, when drifting in on Kari Lehtinen, hands it off to Klingberg. Klingberg gets a look up ice, and here he comes. Minnesota line shooting it out of the corner. Off the angle, Roussel. Jammed up, that's Fiedler back of the net. Eve joining these two. Roussel with a big hit on Parise. And one has been a rather odd season for the Stars. They actually have a better record when trailing after one period than when leading after one period. This puck played with a Granlund high stick knocking down Lehtinen's clearing pass.
Well, they're a better team when they play on their toes, and we've seen that within games, especially here on home ice this season. And you watch that first shift, there's Alex Goligoski, a defenseman, gets deep in the zone. Jamie Benn covers at the point. That's really their game when they're playing well. The Wild's game when they're really on their philosophy at ice level is that really tight gap. Really tight. Defensemen close to forwards, and they've been on it. Stars have to break that.
Spurgeon from the line shot it. Parisi tried to tip it home, and it winds all the way out to Cole, who's going to pick it up in stride. Cole shooting at Kemper the stop, and he flips it into the corner off the paddle of his stick. Jason Demers shouldering with Parisi. Into the corner, it's Cole. Centers it off. Kemper, he has trouble with the puck. Sevier was there, but a tick too late. Banked out to center, took a weird up in front of the Dallas bench. Jokipaka reinstalling. Stars need to clear the zone. They've been trapped on the change, and that gives Suter a little more space. To Spurgeon at center ice. Across the Dallas line, Daly pumps it ahead. Horkoff on the wing. Here comes Hemsky with a step on Brodziak. He shoots. Kemper the stop, and they give him the whistle despite the fact that the referee from behind the puck was blocked and it was still loose.
So Lindy Ruff has juggled all his lines after that opening period, and they are on the attack here to start the second. Simple stuff. Second time in a row. Barrel down the right wing side, drill it on net, look for a rebound. The thing that Kemper's done well is keep pucks in front of him when there has been a shot. Hemsky rips this, doesn't go on an angle, 45-degree angle, stays right in front, gives him a shot at making a second save and some help after that.
Stars won 16 of 23 first period faceoffs. They're unable to hang on to the puck for long stretches, however. This one goes Minnesota's way. Pass too far for Carter from Bickle. Hemsky back of the net. 3 shots without result tonight. 39 for the year for Hemsky. Carter swept it toward the net, and Lettinen taking no chances here.
Bickle and Alexiak. Little shove. Oh, we go intimate with this one from ice level. Nothing's going to come of that one, as I think the Stars need to make a bit of a turf war, more so in front of their netminder in that regard. Big Alexiak can do that. Tons of size. 6'7", 250. For the most part, it looks as though they're going to leave the defense pairs intact. We'll see as it moves along, but the lines have certainly juggled here to start the second.
He can toss. Ben's eager to get in there. Wins it. Klingberg put it back in the net. Goligoski to Klingberg. Forced. Passes to Goligoski. Trapped 2 Wild players. Seguin takes it over. Seguin shooting it. Save Kemper wanted a rebound. He got one, but Ben has it back in the net now. Flipped it to the boards. Klingberg tossing it off to Eakin. Over to Seguin. Taking a step. Giving it to Klingberg for a shot. Save Kemper. Rebound loose. Niederreiter hemmed in. Eakin reaching between his legs with his stick. Seguin trying to scrape it off the wall. Rodin's in there too. That's a 6-man scrum for the puck. And finally it goes to Scandella. Hoists it over the turning Klingberg. Back of the net he goes. Teammates changing, he'll bring it up. Opts to give it to Goligoski. Hammers it in. Kemper to the boards. Chip it past Fiddler to Zucker. One of Minnesota's 2 goal scorers in the game. Niederreiter the other. Jokipaka got there in a hurry ahead of Coyle. Fiddler out towards center ice. Suter restoring it to Spurgeon, who missed the pass, and now he's hounded by Antoine Roussel. He's in there lickety-split. Jokipaka around the boards to Vern Fiddler. Wanted to go deep to Roussel again, but Spurgeon ties him up gamely along the wall. Suter trudging forward into the Dallas zone. Eaves will pick him up. He shot it. Lettinen made the stop. Points have not exactly been flowing from Ryan Suter lately. Came in on Lettinen, and Roussel pumped it ahead to center ice. Here comes Spezza into the zone. Left it for Eaves. Eaves overskated the puck, and then he threw it to Alexiak, who was driving through. That went off of him. Back come the Wild. Koivu from Pominville around the boards to Zach Parise. He's in check. Roussel went down. Parisi rescued the puck, and Pominville cranked it wide. Pass from Spezza, headed center. Here's Sevier into the zone. Demir's jumping up. Sevier spun and fired, but it's blocked by Prosser. To the line, not out. Daly whips it deep. Cole using his stick on Prosser. Sevier cuts him off along the boards. Spezza trying to find it, but it gets past him. Daly charging over. Steps past Pominville. To Spezza back of the net. Centered it. Cole covering at the line. Spins and fires it wide. Demir's tied up with Parisi. Granlund trying to escape. Daly from center ice knocks it back over.
A little chaotic. It's better, though, for the Stars try to jar the Wild out of their defensive posture in there, and their D have been more active. You saw Alexiak up. You saw Daly on this last shift. You got to have that fourth guy. As the Wild forced to ice this one here. So they... You know, you got to think now, understanding Lindy Ruff, that he wants them on their toes and attacking and wake up a little bit. Jason Spezza had his first shift. He's only had one here in the second period. He came about 4 minutes into this second. That line had a rough first period. It's only one period. Stars seem to be getting their act together a little bit here in the second.
Ski off the face-off win, shot it. It's blocked. Goligoski a drive just wide. He's looking for his first goal of the season. Klingberg keeping in a puck. It hits the fallen stick. Moen tripped up in front, no call. And the puck flung out of play.
Moen and the goaltender, Kemper, rattled into one another. Well, right off this face-off win, the Stars are able to run a play from a set piece. Again, around the top of the circle. That's a couple of times the Stars have done that. Blocks. Remember the last time the Wild were in here, they had as many blocks in front of Kemper as Kemper made saves in behind, and they're eager to take a bruise to make sure that the puck doesn't get through and force their netminder to make a save or a face-off in center ice.
Eakin and Brodziak, Stars win it. Klingberg bumped it ahead. Eakin was pressured by Niederreiter. Goligoski back to his own line to Klingberg. Eakin, pass off Scandella. Slammed it ahead to the Dallas line. Niederreiter tried to bat it over with finesse. Ben giving it. Eakin left it for Ben. Ben tossing it to Seguin. Seguin spinning away from Brodziak to Ben. A shot, save Kemper. Seguin tried to return the puck out front. It's Goligoski. Penalty coming up against Minnesota. Extra attacker coming. Seguin to Ben in the corner. Back out to Goligoski. Spezza is that extra attacker, and he tried to find him, but it's tipped. Dallas will go on the power play here. 13:51 remaining in the second period, down 2-0.
In order for Tyler Seguin to scare 60 goals this season, I believe the Stars' power play is going to have to improve drastically from where they're at right now. They're going to get another opportunity here because of a rather vicious lower lumbar massage by Brodziak on Jamie Benn. They come roaring in. Ben goes to the front of the net. This puck comes in. He tries his bid, and then bam, right in the number 14 on his back. So they go to work.
Ben and Koivu to Kemper's left. Stars' second power play of the game. They're now 0 for 7 in the season series against Minnesota. Wild wins the face-off. They haven't won many. They get that one down courtesy of Marco Scandella.
They have good penalty killing. I mean, you're up against it.
Goligoski to Seguin. Offside at the line.
You know, you watch them go about their business. They're top 5 in the NHL. They pressure smart as a group. When it's time to pressure, whoever has the puck, they'll cut that ice quickly. They seem to move as one. They're a confident group, obviously, because they're killing almost everything right now. But a power play goal against just 3 of their last 9 games. They don't take very many penalties usually.
Ben tries to go forward, nudge it over. Unable to get a clean lane. Carter sends Goligoski back. Goligoski and Klingberg. Seguin, Ben, Roussel is the net front guy. Goligoski hauling it over, gave it to Roussel along the boards, left it. Ben got there, moved it swiftly, back of the net. Roussel trying to dig it out. Ben finding it, stepping away from Carter. Pass hits Goligoski in the skates, that's a good rescue. Passing it to Seguin. Shot it, Kemper makes the stop, and again, no rebound.
Roussel right in front of him, trying to create the screen. Seguin's come out firing the pill tonight. Rip that one in there, and They're looking for rebounds. I mean, they've been very liberal with their shooting here in the second period. Finally find a lane through the bodies. Quick wrister, and Kemper with his eyes on it. Able to peek over top, handle it in the shoulder. That was a weird entry by the Stars, though. It was like Goligoski and then the herd behind him.
Demers with a look. Back to Daly. Shot from Spezza. Oh, is that gloved confidently by Darcy Kemper?
Oh my goodness, I think you might have saw his tongue stick out at him as he snared that one. That was cheap. This is tongue out cheeky, this one. Bang, shot immediately, label top corner, and dies in the left hand of Kemper, who has sparkled.
Stars have 9 shots in the period already.
9 to what, 2?
Yes. That was 9 in the first frame.
You know, it's the same thing over and over again, though. It's wonderful they're getting shots on net, but if there is a rebound, they have to have the hunger to get to it. And prior to the shot, they need the timing of someone in front that takes the eyes away from the netminder.
Eakin has won 6 of 7 faceoffs. He's trying Koivu again. To Kemper's right, he wins another. Daly for Demers. Nobody in front. Sends it out. Spezza, shot. He was going up high, and he missed the net.
Stared at his stick blade after that.
Daly, Spezza, Daly, Spezza. Hemsky lurking off to the side, takes the pass. Stepping out with it. Demers rotating down and then creeping back up on the near side. Back down toward the net. Hemsky wanted him. Now finds the puck. Tried to pull the trigger twice. Demers heaving it back in. Spezza has Eakin loose in front of the net. Couldn't get him there. Prosser up, not out. Daly from the left point. Passing to Hemsky. Dodging away from Prosser to find Spezza in the corner. 22 left on the power play. Spezza takes it back to the net, and on his back end with Scandella riding him. Demers to Daly. Eakin's in front. Daly into the corner for Hemsky. Spezza charging to the net. And now into the corner to find that pass from Hemsky. He'll curl out with it. Down to Hemsky. Demers in front. Eakin swung and missed, and it's cleared.
Boy, they had weary penalty killers, too. Mikko Koivu and Zucker, the 2 forwards, were a little straight-legged at the tail end of that. There was their opportunity. I don't think Eakin saw it until it was right on top of him.
Dallas 0 for 2 in the game. Klingberg getting away from Parisi, but Granlund poked it off his stick. Daly up the middle. Ben, what a clever play with the glove to the stick, and now Sagan into the zone. Spinorama. Sagan leaving it. Klingberg shot it, blocked. Pominville was spying number 3. Suter, the outlet guy, right in front of the net. Cranked it out to center. Klingberg again. Pushing it ahead. Fiddler on the change, relays it deep. Kemper leads for Spurgeon. He's got a head start on Sagan, who goes to the Dallas bench. Granlund taking it over. Spurgeon goes to the front of the net, and Lettman fights off the shot. Klingberg hook. Moen in check. Horcoff puts Parisi down.
Took a stick in the face as he did it, I think.
They get it out, but not out of the zone. Dumbup all the way around, centered it. Comes to Brodin. Into the corner, he left it for Pominville. Shooting right into Kari Lettman's glove.
A little foray into the Stars' end for the Wild here in the middle frame. It's been all Dallas at the other end. Good chance right at the tail end of this strong rotation on the power play. Eakin, number 20, right in front. It might have hit a leg. It jammed him anyway. Left shot out of the corner. Koivu was very good. Koivu's got a strong stick, and he was leaning on Cody Eakin with it. He calls that mustache and soul patch that he's got rocking right now Feng Shui.
Wow.
Nice balance to his facial hair. You can't see it very much.
No.
Good balance to it if you get in close enough.
Spezza had that rocket off of him to Niederreiter. Oh, just missed Vanek in the slot. Call to Spezza. Dallas right back in. Spezza shooting it. Tried to pick the corner again. Rides the glass back out to center.
He's got a big upshoot toe curve stick blade, and upstairs is where it usually rockets to. He's missed the net a couple of times, though.
Vanek in. Over a ducking Kari Lettman. And out in stride to Ben at the line. Suter back to defend him. Ben pulls up, gave it to Sagan. He shoots it. He missed. And that's out of play. They're getting shots at the Minnesota net, but nothing behind Darcy Kemper yet. 2-0 Wild. Dallas Stars hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Just announced the Black Friday sales event at your Texas Ford dealer. Don't wait. It all ends December 1st. And by Mazda. The Mazda 6 is named a Car and Driver 10 Best for 2014. What do you drive? Fifth game of a 5-game homestand for Dallas. They've won 3 straight. 3 of 4 then. But they're trailing 2-0 here to Minnesota.
It's interesting. You see the Wild, especially the guys on the inside of the circle toward their goaltender, try to sort out where they want to go and what their responsibilities will be if the Stars win this draw.
They won 2 of every 3. Seguin wins another. Demers leaving it. Van has a lane. Shot it wide. Tipped. Coyle moving it up to Zucker. Ben back to defend him. And Ben punched it forward. Seguin into the zone. Seguin hopping around Koivu. Seguin to Ben. Kemper was there. Eakin all over Coyle. Steals the puck in the corner. Centers it. Demers went across the green. Ben to Seguin. Shooting it. Blocker to side by Kemper. Ben to Eakin back of the net. Banking it out to Demers. Eakin will let it go, but Ben had already left to change. Rodin up the wall right to Roussel, who came on for Ben. His shot in on Kemper. Save Kemper. Roussel centered it. Seguin tied up. Rodin moved it forward. Coyle got it out.
Boy, they were really tired again, especially Brodin, the defenseman. Now they'll finally get that pair off.
Roussel. Eaves winning the race. And then stealing the puck. Fiddler trying to provide some cover. Now finds it. Scandella got enough of it to allow Kemper to come out and squash the play.
Tyler Seguin is dancing in this one here tonight, more so as the game moves along. Came into the game 3rd in the NHL in shots on goal. He is pirouetted and pranced in this one, just about set up his buddy Jamie Benn off the rush. Arguably the most dangerous scorer in the league since the Olympics in Sochi last February. He wasn't on Team Canada, but 30 goals, absolutely deadly at even strength, and is on the march and trot here tonight.
Fiddler, Roussel, and Eaves in the Minnesota zone. Cale Granlund opposite Fiddler in the circle. Fiddler won it. Roussel worked it to Goligoski. Eaves stretching out for it back of the net. Fiddler twisting away from Scandella. Eaves, Granlund hanging on. Klingberg jammed along the boards. Pominville's all over him again. And Prosser out to Parise. Across the ice. Granlund heading to the front of the net. He scores! Takes the pass from Pominville and buries it, and it's 3-0 Minnesota.
It was quite a pass. It's been a rough game for John Klingberg. We haven't said that about him at all. They're not all going to be, Calder Trophy winning efforts. They're back defensively in this one, it looks like, but this pass gets through. Stars got a little over-aggressive. They get a break. The Wild do coming through. That's a nice pass by Pominville, and Kari Lehtinen didn't get much of a jump on it yet. He hasn't been very busy here in the second period, and he was deep and down as the tricky little Finn beat him with that one.
Granlund's 3rd of the season, 2 of those coming in the last 8 games.
I mean, they've had nothing here for 12 minutes of the second period. They get one chance and bang.
How they go. Hollow worked it to the boards. Yoki Paka pressing. Here's Horkoff. Spurgeon had him tied up. Moen using his body to give it to Horkoff. Borhinski in front. It slips past him and out. Granlund's 3rd from Pominville and Parise. 3-0 Wild. 7:40 to play in the second period. Carter pitching it over. Cole going back after the puck. Long pass ahead. Spezza claims it. And a twist free of Brodin. For Sevier back of the net. Cloaked by Brodziak. Demers shooting it deep. Brodin steps in front of Spezza. Finds the puck and hoists it to center ice. Vanek pressuring Daly. Makes the turn, gives it to Spezza. Caught it on the backhand. Turns to the forehand. Cuts to the slot. And he missed the shot. Takes it in deeper. Centers it. That's behind Cole and out of the zone. Had some lovely opportunities, but lots of those have fizzled just like that one.
Yeah, they have not been crisp.
No. Niederreiter stopped at the Dallas line, and that forces Minnesota offside.
We'll go back to the goal. Really the only quality scoring chance that the Wild have had here in the second period. Not a good positioning in their own zone. They cruise back up ice. The Stars should have inside position. Never works out very well when you have back-checking defensemen, and Klingberg was back-checking, couldn't catch up to Granlund. Kari Lehtonen couldn't catch up to his bid. They say Granlund spent some time with Teemu Selanne after his rookie year in the NHL. Taught him a little bit about preparing to be a pro better and fitness. That's how you play double decades in the NHL at the level that Teemu played and just retired this year.
Yeah. Played a guy. Zucker in, pumped it. Lehtonen made the stop but lost a rebound. Klingberg there to take it away. Backhands it to Eakin, spit it out of the zone. Suter from Spurgeon. Up the middle to Coyle. Zucker toward Koivu. Goligoski pitched it forward. Here comes Seguin again, blazing into the zone. Seguin shooting, blocked. Roussel following up, just missed Seguin again. Goligoski to Seguin, tipped it, and a save Kemper.
Fiddler tipped it too in front. I think it was the double tip.
Fiddler, I think that's Fiddler's stick that went cracking in half along the boards. It was. Minnesota getting the puck out. 5.5 remaining in the second period. Jason Demers to Trevor Daly. Spezza opening up for the pass at center, but he threw it right into Prosser. Too far for Parise, icing against Minnesota.
Well, they're going to get what they were looking for, which was a puck deep in Wild territory, and they get it on the icing. Spezza tried to get it in deep. You know, the things I think that Ruff was worried about heading into this game against the Wild have come to fruition. You know, they've had a tough time with real clean, good opportunities on Kemper. They've had some shots, no question. He's been good, no doubt about that. And then their ability to counter what you're doing, and they've done it multiple times.
Demers rocketing it wide to the net. Kemper puts the clamps on it and will send us to break with 5:13 remaining in the second period. The Wild struck twice in the first. Granlund buries it here late in the second. 3-0 visitors.
Well, the Stars play in a stingy division. Our Ford leaderboard tonight shows the Central. And I mean, it's crazy. Nashville's #1 in goals against. St. Louis 2. Chicago #3 in the league. Winnipeg 5th. Minnesota 8th. And then you drop down to the two teams that will lock horns tomorrow night. Mile High Air, Colorado, and Dallas.
Here's Demers shooting it, tipped wide. Spezza centering, cranked to the boards. Parise to the line. By the way, Chicago won 4-1 over Anaheim, so they stay on the trot. Winnipeg picked up a point in an overtime loss at Boston, and a hand pass called here against the Wild.
Well, the Stars have had some struggles within the division. Minnesota has had really no issue. They're 5-0 against teams within the division, and it's pretty obvious if you're going to win games against these teams in the Central, you better be good defensively because they're not going to give very much up. Stars have yet to be shut out this season. Think about it. I mean, they have the leading goal scorer in the league. He's 3rd in the league in points. Jason Spezza is 12th in assists. They've been able to manufacture offense, but they got to clean things up going the other direction.
Lehtonen settling this puck. And here comes Seguin to Eakin, but Scandella stepped up, wouldn't give him the line. Alexiak. Confident play at center. Got it back from Jokipaka. Takes it over, wanted Seguin. Brodziak read it, picked it off. And Scandella from Brodin.
That was the rare stretch pass D to D.
Don't see it very often. Here comes Vanek. He has an assist in the game. Niederreiter has a goal. And in front. Cleaned up by Seguin and cleared.
It's good defending by Jokipaka. He never even looked or gazed at the puck. Just had Vanek all the way to the front of the net.
Suter moved it on. Zucker overtaken by Moen. And there's Jyrki Jokipaka again. Horcoff up towards center. Koivu intercepts and shoots it in. Alexiak back there with Coyle hanging on him. Jokipaka with the pass to Moen. Tried to shove it over. Spurgeon knocks it down. Minnesota wanted to counter. Jokipaka wouldn't allow it. Now Horcoff to Hemsky. One-on-one against Suter. Hemsky walked him. He scored! In a big way, he's on the board. It's 3-1.
Well, this is a woolly mammoth of a goal for him. They work it up ice. Man, that is one of the best defensemen in the league that got absolutely fried on the outside-inside. The lubricity of Ales Hemsky. Outside, inside, right underneath the armpit of Kemper. The shutout is gone. The Stars have some life. And Hemsky can breathe.
Oh, man. Hemsky from Horcoff. Ales Hemsky's first as a Dallas Star. 3-1. Klingberg back after the puck. Pounded, but got it over to Goligoski. Up ahead to Eaves. Couldn't make the catch at the line. Center ice, Dallas recapturing. Goligoski drawing in Haula. Feeding it over to Klingberg. Pass ahead to Eaves. He missed it. And it's cranked in by Carter. Ben also gets an assist. This one's turned over, though. Parise, and it's behind Pominville. See what Eaves can do. Gives it to Fiddler. Here come the Stars. 3-on-2 as they hit the line. Fiddler fell along the boards. Klingberg right behind him. Rodin cuffed by Eaves. Fiddler tried to send the puck back Eaves' way. Parise intercepts, and out comes Suter to the Dallas line. Parise helped it to the net, and a save Lettinen with the pad. Goligoski, they've been out for a while, that pair. Pumps it ahead. Here comes Roussel. Lost the puck at the line that goes off Eaves' glove. Granlund feeds it forward, gets it back in the middle. Klingberg swatted it away. In front for Parise, and that block. They have Cole breaking toward the Minnesota line. Spezza couldn't connect.
With a turnover up at the attack blue line, and the Stars were not in good shape in their own zone. They got away with it, though. Turnovers have been problematic tonight.
Niederreiter shooting, save Lettinen. Colton Sevier. Oh, came to Niederreiter. Shot blocked by Klingberg. Spezza sets it down at center. Klingberg gingerly toward the bench, but he'll take it and then crank it in. And then limp his way to the Dallas bench. Spezza and Cole are in there against Prosser. Niederreiter feeds it out. Sagan. Stepping in. Sagan across to Eakin. He shoots it. It's blocked by Spurgeon. Eakin looking for an option. Daly was back there, but Prosser cut in. And it's fed ahead too far for Vanek. Jokipaka tracks it down. Long pass to Ben. Into the zone. Ben to Sagan. He shoots. Sagan kept the rebound. Late surge by the Stars. They appear to be within a shot.
This is a determined shift by Tyler Sagan all over the ice. He beat Vanek to a puck, out-muscled him in neutral ice, stays after it on the forecheck, screws back out, Stars turn it back up ice, right through the guts of the ice, gets it on the backhand, drives it in. And how's it going? Emphatic call from behind the net. Eakin follows it up. It went off Spurgeon and in. It's going to be Sagan's goal. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? So they get the Wild defenseman to chase back to the net. Their big-minute D-men have looked weary here late in the second. Suter earlier and Spurgeon that time.
Sagan's league-leading 18th at 18:50. Stars within a shot late in the second. Lettinen back of the net. Up the boards to Hemsky. Worked it forward. Here comes Horcoff. Kicked it over to Moen. Tried to center it. Brodin makes the play. Barkov joining the crowd. Trying to work it away from Koivu. Moen spins out of the corner with it. Tosses it back to Jokipaka. To Goligoski. A shot just wide of the net. Jokipaka kicked it forward. Barkov back of the goal. Spinning away from Brodin. And there's Kemper again with the glove.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously, it's a completely different game here now with the bang-bang Hemsky-Sagan goals. But Kemper has shown to get rattled in past games. But that puck was jumping again. It's tough ice late in the period. Spurgeon dies a little bit after that one contacts his upper body. A couple of times that Kemper's been sassy with that glove hand. A couple of times where he's been too windmilly and pucks have gotten away. That one was costly.
Face out to Kemper's left. The Stars are storming late in the period. Spezza has Granlund tied up. Sevier trying to pull the trigger, and Suter's there to wipe it to the boards. Haula, much enthusiasm, got it to center ice. It trickles to Daly with 15 left in the frame. On the wing to Cole, moving into the zone. Cole shooting, scores! It's tied at 3.
Wow, reading body language in this game tonight it's like a novel. It's gone back and forth. Good gap by Demers. They get away with this one. Then the liberation pass up the ice. Prosser is used as a screen. That probably shouldn't go in, though, as Kemper can't find this one. Guys who haven't scored for the Stars have put pucks in here in the second period on both sides of Tyler Seguin.
Seguin tries to step past Suter for another bid. Demers from center, and wow, how about that? 3 goals in the final 3:42 to tie it for Dallas.
It's a stunner.
Just in time for puck drop for period 3. The Stars ignited the building late. Final 3.5 minutes or so, producing 3 goals in that second period for the Stars. Ales Hemsky, Tyler Seguin, and Eric Cole have tied the game at 3. See what happens here in the third period. It's going to be interesting. As you talked about how it appeared that the Stars were gaining energy as the Wild were losing it.
Yeah, the intermission came at the wrong time for Dallas. Let's see if they can regain it immediately here in the third.
Klingberg worked it in. There's Ben from the wall. It goes out to Klingberg, who swung and missed. Coyle at center ice, overtaken by Jamie Benn. Ben has 2 assists in the game, by the way. He's increased his point streak to 5 games. Spezza tried to nudge it over to Daly. Parise taking off the other way. Sevier couldn't catch him. Demers was with him, and Granlund was storming the net as Kari picks the puck up and stops play.
Well, I remember talking with Lindy Ruff last year. He was very patient at times with his lines, and he would stick with them. And he said he kind of got away from that a little bit when he was with the Buffalo Sabres, and he would get grilled sometimes about jockeying too much. But it's been splendid the last couple of games of this homestand where he's moved people around, and it has sparked.
Suter's shot blocked by Demers. Demers also picked up an assist in that period. Cole's pass hit a skate, stays in the Dallas zone. Daly, Parise, but the Wild had players trapped offside, so Parise was not offside. His teammates were.
See how the Wild handle this too. They've done this a few times where they've squandered 3-goal leads, and the guy that needed the break more than anything was their netminder, Mike Yeo, wondering whether he's got a civil team in front of him. They looked so good, and then when things started to go bad, they couldn't stop the bleeding at all. See if they got a tourniquet on it in that second intermission.
There's Demers. Eaves bunts it along. Fiddler ducked under the hit, got it in. Reaves his stick. Roussel bumps it out front. The Wild have the puck. Parise taking the Dallas line. Shot it wide of the net. Pominville pumped it from the boards. Fiddler blocked the shot. Parise trying to get away from Demers. Ran right into him. Demers makes a good strong play. Eaves lifts it to center, sends Suter back after the puck, and he gets the benefit of the call. Here's an idea for you. Drop the kids off at Dr. Pepper Arena in Frisco for a supervised ice skating session, open hockey, and games including turkey bowling, broom ball, and snowman building this Sunday, 2 to 5. It's the perfect way to wrap up your Thanksgiving weekend shopping while your kids have fun. For more information, visit drpepperstarcenter.com.
That's a good idea. How about how loud this building was at the end of the second period? Just give them a reason, boys.
Yep. They're all here. They're all begging for it. Prosser gunned it wide. Hard kick off those lively end boards.
It was well played by Kari Lehtonen.
Prosser again, same thing. This time it's shot out the other side. He has Brodziak on his back. Demers clears. No icing here. Dallas can get their change. Kemper. Long pass off Vanek. Jyrki Jokipaka, the 23-year-old Finn, collected his first NHL point with an assist on the Sagan goal. Gives it to Hemsky. He picked up point number 500. His first goal as a Star, and he fires that one. It died off Scandella. Vanek back to the defenseman. Jokipaka, who's had another good game tonight, just missing Horcoff. Banked ahead, and the big rig. Driving it in, Kemper found that with the shoulder.
I think those two, the third pair, if you will, are going to be a massive key for the Stars going forward. How well they play. Jokipaka, Alexiak. Cindy Ruff talked about it heading into the season. What were the big keys? Well, one of the big keys was after your big three on defense, how do the rest of them play?
Ben reached around and kept Scandella at bay, and now Ben hops it over. Ben moving in. Ben! Oh, and it's blocked by Spurgeon in front. Ben going hard after Carter. Klingberg pinched. Spurgeon escapes with the puck. Carter on the wing to Howla. It's onside. He fires it wide, short side. Skips right to Suter, who holds the zone. Sagan has 7 shots in the game. Klingberg worked it around to Goligoski. Cole's on the wing. Goligoski finds him, but he had to spin for the puck. Suter recovering, and Cole here to take a blow up high. Koivu poking it forward to Coyle into the Dallas zone. Can't beat Demers. Spezza there. Working it over to Daly. Full view of the Minnesota zone. He takes it. He shoots it. Save Kemper. Not much on it.
The pair looks pretty good. Daly and Demers. Jamie Benn looks really good in this game. Little sweep pick in neutral ice and then walks in. There was lots of Barbarian in that shift for Jamie Benn, and he got Davey at the late stages of this little thrust. Tries to bring it around. Spurgeon, Johnny on the spot to nudge that away. There were 3 Stars within a stick length of the goal line of the Minnesota Wild, but the puck never came through.
Wild fighting back a bit in the face-off circle in the game. Stars still with an edge. Fiddler's won 6 of 9. One goes back to the net. Roussel driving hard with Brodin. Squirted up the boards. Scandella heaving it over. Back of the net, centered it, and it's shot wide by Koivu. I don't think he was looking for Koivu, but Koivu skated right to the puck. Scandella ahead. Zucker, the man for whom that pass was intended, threw it forward. Roussel chips it over. And off the bench, Horcoff hands it back. Stars trying to change. Daly plops it into Minnesota ice. 4.5 gone in the third period. Minnesota was up 3-0. Dallas stormed back late in the second. We're tied. Here we are early in the third. Prosser into the Dallas zone. Shooting. Missed the net. Horcoff tried to punch it ahead. Now he finds Hemsky backing into the zone. Hemsky turns away. Gives it to Daly. Shot it. Saved Kemper. No rebound. And Kemper had to fight to find that puck.
He had to spot it through some bodies that were cruising in front. You can see the cape of confidence has been draped over Ales Hemsky as he goes. Koivu's chance at the other end. This is what was getting Dallas in trouble in the first period. Vacating the slot area in front. It's a pretty alarming pass from behind the net. And just as Eves got in there, Hemsky puck on its stick, make a play. Daly's been active up ice. They get it at the net with a couple of guys right in front. Good shift by everybody involved in that one. Especially Moen going the other direction, too. He took Parise all the way to the front of the Stars net. Good veteran defensive play there.
That's her 19-9 Dallas since the start of the second period. Seguin to Klingberg. Seguin finding Ben. Ben out to Goligoski. Ripped it back to the net for Cody Eakin. Brodziak had him in check. Seguin. Ben. Touch pass to Goligoski. Walking past Niederreiter. Goligoski. A shot to pad stop Kemper. Now it's making a bid for his first goal of the season, too.
Boy, the Stars D have been on this here in the third. Good sign.
Klingberg to Eakin at the line. Gave it to Seguin. Got it back. Shot it. Blocked. Wrap around Eakin. Save Kemper. And then a little extra.
That's how you do it. Ben took another shot in the back. Cody Eakin got in there immediately. Been angry at both nets. Another shift where there was some wonderful puck movement by the Stars. That was the meandering chance for Alex Goligoski as he walked in, had the wild twisting. This all started because Niederreiter didn't stop on a puck and couldn't stop it up top and get it out of their zone. And then finally the wraparound on the backhand. There's one shove, there's the second one, and then it was anger management in and around Kemper, who has been a busy, busy boy.
So, Eakin and Howla roughing minors. They've taken a combined 3 minors prior to the game.
Stars have run an awful lot of plays off of face-off, from dead pucks on the face-off. A lot of open space here, 4-on-4.
Spezza, Cole, Klingberg, and Goligoski. And young Klingberg with the puck. Passed it off to Cole. It got through him into the corner. Parisi knocked it back to Scandella. Spezza tried to center for Cole. Goligoski fighting with Parisi. Out comes Koivu with the puck. Scandella, the defenseman, jumping up. Klingberg arresting it inside his own zone. Takes a look, gave it to Goligoski, got it back, and then returns it. Goligoski on a kick from Spezza. Crossed the line. Taking the middle. Swerving, turning, shooting, save Kemper. Klingberg tried to pass to Goligoski and hit Cole, but he's able to keep it in the zone. Brodin found the glass, sent it out of play. 13:46 remaining in the third period. Quite a game now for the Stars and the Wild, tied at 3. Dallas Stars hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Just announced the Black Friday sales event at your Texas Ford dealer. Don't wait. It all ends December 1st. By AT&T. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT. Mobilizing your world. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Well, the Stars have been able to lean on these two we talked about at the beginning of the game. They played as a pair a lot tonight, but also split up because Suter plays so much. They're both have been scored on. Late in that second period, they were victimized by the Stars. Little Spurgeon, their shot blocker, and Suter can go wall to wall and cover, it seems like, everybody fluidly. Try covering that guy, though, the rest of the way. I mean, Suter's played 20 minutes. There's 14 minutes left in this game.
Still 4-on-4 here. The minors to Cody Eakin and Eric Howla. Granlund to Spurgeon into the Dallas zone. Working his way in for a slap shot. Pad stop left. Daly mob back there. Demers trying to help him out. Granlund escapes. Centered it, but right to Ben. And it came right in on Colin Valetin. Storming out makes the stop.
I know what Jamie Benn was trying to do, but I don't know that you should do that. You know, if you get it through, you can go in transition. Carleton with the save on the bomb from Spurgeon, and then they win this puck after the little turnover, and then he tries to just slip it through. You can see guys vacate, but man, oh man. So you know what turnovers do. Boom. Good save by Carleton, one on each side.
Pominville a bit snake bit too, just 1 goal in his last 14. Klingberg to Goligoski, still 4-on-4. Pass up the middle, Spurgeon knifes it down. Starts the counter to Parisi into the Dallas zone. Koivu, shot, pad stop, Lettman, good one, moving over to his left.
Puck security is an issue here these last couple of forays around the pond. Coming out of their own zone again. up through the middle. It's a hopeful attempt to Fiddler. And Spurgeon, the defenseman, jumps up on it. This is a hot shot from Koivu. And another above-average save by that man, Kari Lehtinen. Put up a wall here in the third.
Ben and Seguin back out here. Ben will try Koivu. Ben wins it. Klingberg whacked by Koivu. Tripped up by Koivu.
They haven't called much in the game tonight. They're not giving the rookie the benefit of the doubt either.
Goligoski takes the line. Ben to Seguin. Seguin twirling out to the line. Ben coming over to get the puck. Trying to work it back. Suter clears, and Goligoski hustling to beat Parise to the puck. He does. And then makes the tight turn away from Parise. Gave it to Seguin. Seguin storming in. Seguin shooting. Save Kemper. Puck in the near circle. Klingberg finds Seguin. And he put it into the slot for Goligoski. It's tapped away. Rodziak as Ben went crashing into the boards. Minors have expired. Back to 5-on-5. Seguin fighting with Parise, keeping him away. Horkoff trying to force Suter out. That hits Seguin in the shoulder and leaves the playing surface.
An active shift again. Boy, the legs are flying on Tyler Seguin tonight. He and Ben both have it revved up. It was a pretty good play by Brodziak in his own zone to get away from Jamie Benn. He's like the Duke of doing nothing. And sometimes that's all you need to do. He had the puck in front of the net, waited for the swings by, and there's been lots of swinging in the game.
Face off to Kari Lehtinen. It's right, 12-17 to play in the third. It's a 3-3 game. Hemsky jumps out with the puck. Scandella took it away, shot it over, and Jokipaka. There was a change on one of the Dallas goals, so Jyrki Jokipaka has 2 assists in the game, his first 2 NHL points. They took one away from Ben, an assist. Brodin gave it to Scandella. On the wing to Vanek, from whom we have not heard much tonight. Lehtinen using the boards and the safety netting, got it up, but the whistle.
Yeah, Thomas Vanek. I think the last time they were in here, I never said his name, and tonight had a real nice assist on the opening goal in the game, but he's been invisible. That's sort of his MO through the years. Invisible and then venomous. But the venomous part seems to be really delayed. Really delayed.
With 3 different teams last season, he accumulated 27 total goals. Wild signed him in the offseason.
Yeah, they always felt like they didn't have enough natural goal scorers. They thought they brought one in and he's not scoring goals.
Pominville shooting. Lehtinen makes the stop.
Yeah, Pominville would be one of the other guys, I guess, that would be on that list too. That, you know, he works extremely hard. He's a good character guy. He's getting some shots on net tonight. Both of those guys, Vanek and Pominville, played for Lindy Ruff in Buffalo. He's missed the net a lot.
Brandon appeared too eager. Pominville to try Fiddler. Daly helped win it. Demers out of Spurgeon's reach, icing against the Stars. Will do it again.
Well, he needed to delay a little more on that one. There's no way Patrick Eaves is going to be able to get over to that wing in time. They get a clean win, and Demers just whips it around. And they're going to have to do it all over again. They had the center iceman kicked out and all that, so poor execution by the Stars. See if they can gather this in and get going again.
Same spot. Fiddler defeating Granlund. Daly spins away. Good pass to Fiddler. Now they're on the attack. Eaves hauling it over. Shooting and save. Kemper rebound. Roussel tied up on his way to the net. Pass from Fiddler comes out of the zone. Daly on to Roussel. Taking the middle. Shooting it. Save. Kemper. No rebound. And cruising through his Eaves. And Kemper trying to sell it.
Well, if he hadn't been as showy with the save, he probably could have protected himself a little bit better. Fiddler wisely trying to take the big minute D-man off the ice on their side. If you're going to grab anybody, grab Ryan Suter. Boy, good execution by the Stars to start this all in their own zone, though. Watch Trevor Daly goes back for this and beats 3 guys. all 3 forecheckers with that one pass, a pivot pass. They go on the rush. This is a rotund rebound off that right pad at Kemper. And I think it went right off of Roussel. Watch him stay on side, drive the net, almost have that chunk in. He's a load to try to handle. There's the grazing little brush by from Eves. After everything's been like, oh, you better not call that.
Spezza keeping it in shot. Kemper kicks it out. Klingberg moving in, chips it back of the net. There's Sevier. Scandella picking up the chase. Sevier fighting through to Goligoski. Got it to Klingberg. Penalty coming up against Minnesota. Sevier shooting it. That's blocked. And so, hasn't been much called, but here's another chance for Dallas.
Well, out of that scrum, and Colton Sevier just kept his wheels moving and working on the puck and draws this call. It's one of the easiest ones to pick out. Scandella, who's turned into a real good NHL defenseman for them. Too active on this. Hands, hip. There's been worse in the game, I'll tell you that.
Third power play of the game for Dallas. Minnesota has had one. Stars are 0 for 2. They've not scored a power play goal this season in 3 games against Minnesota. Now would be a good time. Klingberg, shot from Sagan, save, rebound, man. Save Kemper. And back of the net out to Sagan. Worked it over to Klingberg, has to chase the puck. Goes back against the grain. It's intercepted. Brodziak has Haula busting. Klingberg trying to catch him. And he and Sagan keep him away. Brodziak back of the net, tied up. Ben with the puck. Finds his buddy. And now Goligoski. Turning it over to Sagan. Minnesota changing. Sagan trying to find a crease. Slid it over to Roussel. The Stars are offside.
Well, I'm still in semi-disbelief as Jamie Benn checks the blade of his stick. I think it whipped on him on the rebound chance. What a wide open Sagan was. Kabang! Another juicy rebound. And Ben can't rip it clean on the first stab at it. Allows Kemper, that big body, to just dive across head first and keep it out.
Second unit out here now for Lindy Ruff. Eakin, Spezza, Hemsky, Daly, and Demers.
Contentious face-off for neutral ice.
Jason Demers, right shot down the right side. Ran into Suter. Spurgeon jockeying with Hemsky. Spezza to the line for Daly. Now to Demers, right side. Back out to Daly. He'll crank it. He broke his stick and then kicks it to keep it in the zone.
Heck of a play.
Demers going out to the line. Daly is back in with a new stick. Demers floating it to Spezza. A shot that's blocked by Spurgeon. Hemsky twirling out of the corner with it. Roughed up by Suter, who clears the puck. Daly has Carter breathing down his neck. He'll give it to Demers. 45 seconds remaining. Penalty to Scandella. Spezza hauling it in. Hemsky overskates. And Brodziak sending Haula after the puck, but Eakin is there to intercept.
Not an easy play.
Now he'll drive in. To the wall for Sagan. A little too deep. Prosser lost it. Spezza tried to help it over to Goligoski, who comes deep in the zone for it. Sagan out at the line. Passing it back to Spezza. Looking across the ice for Demers. It got through him. Goligoski walking it back up. Passing to Demers. Back out to Sagan. Down low to Eakin. Tried to center it. Blocked Brodziak off the glass. Sagan holding it in. Gave it to Spezza. Back towards Sagan. Just out of his reach. And Brodin finally clears, but it's after the expiration of the penalty, so it's icing against Minnesota.
I think that's why. I think it was Brodziak had the puck. Didn't want to rip it down. He knew Scandella was coming out of the box. In turn, he turned it over behind his own blue line, and now a weary bunch of penalty killers are going to have to handle this face-off. They can't change on the icing. The Stars can.
Mike Yeo keeps the timeout in his pocket. Brodziak wins the face-off. Prosser up. Jokipaka couldn't quite hold it in, and that'll allow at least a partial change here for Minnesota. Pumps it in. Sevier hits Scandella. Markov sandwiched along the boards. Koivu pumped it out. Jokipaka to Oleksiak. The puck exploded off of him. Zucker in there looking. Horcoff protecting and sending Sevier out. To Cole. Shot it. Pad stop. Kemper. Big rebound. Back to Cole. A backhander. Save Kemper. Loose at the side of the net. Sevier trying to pull the trigger. He can't.
Well, Big Kemper's pulled up here in the third period.
And Cole pumped Koivu back along the end glass. Jokipaka kicked it. Eaves a shot. Save Kemper. Horcoff digging forward. It squirts free to the left. Koivu trying to get out. Spurgeon ahead. Coyle and Zucker are offside at the Dallas line. 7:41 to play in the third period. The Stars have 40 shots, but Darcy Kemper keeps it tied late in the game.
Well, the Stars' assault on Darcy Kemper and the Minnesota Wild net began back late in that second period. It's continued here in the third. They only had 9 shots in the first period. They have 40 now. Latest bunch came in a bunch and in succession. Hot backhand by Eric Cole, who's one of the goal scorers for the Stars in the game. Eaves has had a lot of good looks. Chunks another one to the net. They arrive on the doorstep once again.
Tyler Seguin has 9 shots. Roussel tried to sneak away from Brodin. Parisi firing it in. Jockeying with Demers. Demers takes the man. 4-man pile up in the corner. Daly waiting for the result. And it skips to the line, but Brodin holding it into Suter. Suter shooting, looking for a tip in front, didn't get it. Shot from Pominville, saved Lettinen. Granlund, Parisi, Pominville all buzzing here again.
Yeah, they're a mucky load of a line, no question about it. Tidiness of the two netminders is going to be key here in the final 7 minutes. Murray with a nice work to handle this with a mess in front of him. Obviously, the Stars have come out and just driven pucks toward Kemper at the other end, and he's regurgitated a lot of rubber in this game. There have been a lot of rebounds off of him.
Cody Eakins won 11 of 14 face-offs, and he gets this one too. Seguin up ahead to center ice, shooting it in. Like a dead hop, bent in the corner, got away from him. Vanek turned it over to Goligoski, pushing it to Eakin, a shot that's blocked by Suter. Vanek with a hopeful pass that gets through to Niederreiter. Niederreiter on the backhand is tripped up. No call. Ben turning the attack forward. Seguin. Shot from Goligoski. Scores! His first goal of the season after a very strange exchange here as the Stars up 4-3.
Well, the youngster Klingberg doesn't play it very well. Tries to play it with his stick blade, and as Niederreiter came in, cuts to the front. If he got tripped up, he got tripped up by the netminder. Rarely going to call that. And then painted short side on the rush. Again, this Dallas defense has been hyperactive as this game has moved along. Nice little ethereal feed by Seguin. Mike Yeo went ballistic on the referee right after that. The Stars have their first lead of the night.
Goligoski's first goal of the season. He has 9 assists, too.
Dallas Stars goal, his first goal of the season.
So 2 firsts tonight. Hemsky started it. Goligoski gives Dallas the lead.
Well, this is just paying off. You can see, there goes Goligoski. Weak side defenseman joining the rush. Seguin with the vision. Little delay in the release by Goligoski as Kemper tried to slide across. The only place he was going to beat him was short side high, and that's where he stuck it.
Seguin and Ben getting the assists. Coyle shot it off the face-off win, and it ricochets out of the zone. Oleksiak after the puck. He'll heave it out. Now Minnesota Wild is chasing the game. The roles are reversed. Spezza fighting with Zucker. Help from Sevier. The Stars get it out. minutes to play in the third period. Quick up to Coyle. Shooting it. Letton watched it all the way into the glove and stops play. 5:56 remaining in the game. Alex Goligoski putting the Stars up 4-3. Late.
What a game. What a game tonight. Stars now have a 4-3 lead over the Minnesota Wild with 6 minutes to go in regulation. Our AT&T U-verse rewind. They trailed 3-0. They were all bunged up, not playing well, and then Ales Hemsky was the catalyst. His first as a Dallas Star. That was followed up by Sagan on the rush through the middle of the ice. Got a bounce on that one as it went off Spurgeon, and then with about 11 seconds remaining in the second period, Eric Cole with a sizzler from distance. They have it level at 3. The only goal of the third period that the Stars have absolutely dominated from Alex Goligoski, his first of the season. Everyone's fat and sassy at American Airlines Center again.
5:56 to play. Dallas trying to string 4 wins together. Demers choked up by Parise. Want to go back to the line. Bounces to Granlund. It's an errant stick on the ice. It's Demers' Granlund shot at Letton. Stops play. That's a great save and no rebound.
Well, he was dusting it off over there, Granlund was. Spurgeon, the right defenseman, had crept down the back door, and he never looked at him. Time and space. Wade. There he goes. There goes Spurgeon on the left-hand side. Can't find him. Kari Lehtinen has it stick to him like Velcro. Jamie Benn actually had the lane pretty good over there.
Face up to Kari's right. Eakin has been a beast in the circle. Benn finds possession. He flips it to the Minnesota line right to Suter. Sagan chasing him back of the net, forcing the pass to Pominville. Threw it right away. Daly, that hits Pominville. Back comes Parise into the zone. Put it along the boards. Eakin turning it forward to Benn. Benn to Eakin at the line. Followed. Cody Eakin into the zone. Suter takes it back to the net.
The interesting thing here now is whether the Stars can stay at least a little bit on the gas rather than sitting for the last 5 minutes and trying to protect a 1-goal lead.
Vanek moving it forward. Kicked it off. Niederreiter a shot. 28 bid by Minnesota. 25 have been answered by Kari Lehtinen.
This is the most Kari has stopped games here at home. A lot of times he tries to move those pucks, but he must feel pretty confident in his center iceman tonight that they're going to gain control off of these draws. He's trying to win his 4th in a row, personally, for the first time since February of 2013. And I remember saying to people when the Stars were in the middle of that muck and they'd lost 7 in a row on home ice, if you can lose 7 in a row on home ice, you can win 7 in a row on home ice.
You bet.
They're eking their way that direction.
Cole bursting after the puck. Turning the corner on Brodin. It went right off of his stick.
Boy, vintage Eric Cole tonight, huh?
Yep, you bet. Sevier to Spezza. Spezza keeping it deep, turning against Brodin. Cole gave him a little space. Spezza reversing his tracks again. Spezza controlling it at will in the Minnesota zone. Now he's got Koivu chasing him. Spezza curling away from Koivu. Spezza. Pass into the corner for Cole. Cole pinned by Scandella. Sevier tapping the puck to Cole. Scandella trying to escape the zone with it. And Aaron Feed winds up on Klingberg's stick at center. He'll give it to Cole. Looking over his options. Sends it into the Stars roll over a change.
They ate a minute of clock with that shift.
Under 4 to play now. 4-3 Dallas. Pominville's pass hits Hemsky. Stays in the zone, but Suter threw it up the middle to Hemsky. Tried to work it forward. He does. Now it's Moen. He was turned away from it. Minnesota can't get charging. 1-on-1. Pominville and Jokipakka. Pominville shot. Lehtinen made the stop. Horkoff clears, and there goes Hemsky. Hemsky and Suter again. He beat him once tonight. He fires, and a pad stop Kemper.
I don't think Suter had enough energy to attack him on that one.
Granlund has Roussel chasing him up the ice. Roussel hit him. Eaves taking over the puck. Eaves shooting, save Kemper, rebound loose. Eaves overskates it. Cranked out to Daly. Now to Demers. He'll settle it, swing it out, but right to Coyle. Coyle steps past Fiddler. Bounces wide of the Dallas net. Zucker, position on Daly. To the line for Spurgeon. He held it in. He shot it. It's deflected. Loose at the side of the net. It bounced favorably for the Stars. Roussel clears. No icing. That puck died right before the icing line. Wild fired back in. Letton kicked it over to Goligoski. Up the wall to Ben. Too far for him. Brodin capturing inside the Minnesota line with 2.5 to play in regulation. Full house here at American Airlines Center tonight. They've been loud and engaged here. Goligoski up the boards. Eakin threw it out. Brodin will have to chase it.
Cody Eakin makes so many good plays under pressure. There's another good one. Feels the pressure from behind, protects the puck. They get out of their own zone.
Away from Brodziak, and Klingberg found the glass, so there's no penalty here. 2:01 remaining. Face-off staying in the Dallas zone.
They've not given up much here in the third period when they have Kari's come to the rescue. This time they get a little puck luck. Trying to stay in that lane. They've got to find a way to get a body between that point shutter. Went off the fanny. Slipped through in behind Kari Lehtinen and out the other side. This is a team that doesn't give up very many shots, the Wild. And the Stars are inching toward 50. Timeout's going to be called here. The Wild have Kemper on the bench. And with that, Lindy Ruff wanting to readjust things here and talk it over. What a stunning turnaround here tonight, though. They had turkey legs to the degree in the first period, but they've come back and taken complete control of this game and lead by 1.
They're going to need their legs tomorrow night because they're flying to Denver and they'll take on the Avalanche. First time we'll see Central Division rival Colorado, and we'll have it on TXA 21 tomorrow night, Razor, on the television side.
The ticket on the radio. Two teams that have had to deal with similar issues. They can score. It's how much can they stop up the other side? Well, that's the big question here with 2 minutes to go.
Mike Yeo has lifted his netminder. Kemper is on the bench, extra attacker. And Eakin and Koivu, the circle to Kari's left. Minnesota wins the draw, but they'll do it again.
Looks like it went off the toe of a skate on its drop. Maybe that's why they're doing it again. Eakin's going to get turfed out of there anyway. Or maybe he's removing himself. Sometimes they do it on their own.
Ben and Koivu to Kari Lehtman's left. 2:01 remaining in the third. Minnesota wins at Suter. The walk past Eakin, couldn't do it cleanly. Koivu puts it into the corner. Ben turning. Bomb shot, score! Vanek!
There's the venomous part.
He's got 2 goals this season. Both have been against Dallas. Both are killers.
Oh, this is a goal scorer goal, too. He gets it and rips it. He's got a goal and an assist in the game tonight. Stars off of this are in pretty good stead. It comes down into the corner. Jamie Benn chases this one down there. More guys, though. 3 against 2 in the corner. Stars vacate the front of the net a little bit again. There's a lane and a screen. Trevor Daly didn't get in the shot lane. Kari Lehtinen never got his peepers on that ripper. Short side high. Level at 4.
So less than 2 minutes remaining in regulation now. Demers ahead. Spezza clawing after the puck. That's Eaves in the corner. Kala bangs it to the line. Cole couldn't keep it away. Coyle turning forward. Cole caught him. Spezza up the left wing side. Takes the Minnesota line. Chips it in past Brodin. Eaves trying to dig it out. Spezza wanted to center that puck. Carter puts it back of his own net with 1:10 to play. Carter chips it deep, but it's icing against Minnesota. Regulation wins are so big, especially in the division. That's a tough one to give up.
Well, that one broke the back of Mike Yeo, pulls his netminder. They drop a play. Mikko Koivu, their captain, wins 2 draws in a row, really. Whether Eakin got turfed out of there or was pulled out on his own, it was a big break for the Wild. And on their little ambush, they get the leveler at 4.
He's won 8 of 24 faceoffs in the game, Koivu. Won one when he had to. Granlund and Fiddler now. Fiddler tied up with Granlund, goes to the boards. Roussel jumping over to try and find him. Klingberg holding his own. Final minute of the third period, tied at 4.
Minnesota goal, his second of the season.
Scandella, Roussel, both go down. Hemsky and Fiddler in there with Brodin and Granlund. Big pile up. Hemsky takes it out of the pile. Klingberg shooting it, blocked in front, relayed by Roussel. Saved Kemper, and he swung and missed on the second bid.
What a stop.
Carter firing it. Letton with the overhand catch. He'll toss it off to Klingberg. Moves it around to Goligoski. Half a minute to play in regulation. Klingberg backing it up. Snapped it to Benn. Benn cutting in against Spurgeon. Benn couldn't fight his way through. Granlund clears. That hits Pominville. Parise launching it over the top of the Dallas net. Daly has trouble with it in the corner. Benn protecting the puck. Gave it to Eakin. 7 seconds remaining. Eakin can't get away from Koivu, and this game is headed to overtime.
Well, no shock if you were just setting this up this morning, but a shocker if you watch the game tonight. Real good play by John Klingberg at the point to delay for a second and find a shot lane. He gets it here, little swerve, little wrister gets it in, and this spinorama smacker from Roussel. Good isolation, fights his way to the front of the net. It actually hits him, and then it hits the right pad at Kemper, who's made some large stops in this third period.
Stars and the Wild both score in the third period. We're headed to overtime, and the dry scrape is no more. We're coming back with it next.
Well, our spotlight tonight apparently has nudged these guys into the goal column tonight. Came in talking about the scoring exploits of Ales Hemsky and Thomas Vanek. Only 1 goal between the two of them in the first 22 games, but Hemsky took himself off the list with a dazzling, geeking tally. Started the rally for the Stars late in that second period, but trying to protect a 1-goal lead. Their goalie on the bench. 6th attacker on. Thomas Vanek finds the soft spot. Quick shot, short side. I'm pretty sure it was screened as Trevor Daly was out there and making a better door than a window in front of Kari Lehtinen. So that sends us to OT. They both get a point. Each team drops a player off. Instead of playing 5-on-5, they play 4-on-4. We'll see who gets the extra point.
And we switch ends for the goaltenders. The dry scrape was a trial that did not make it. They're just the shovels to clean the surface. Stars have not had much success at all past 60 minutes. They're 0-3 in the 4-on-4, losing at home to Philadelphia, St. Louis, and Anaheim. The Wild, 1 win in 1 try in overtime and 1-for-1 in the shootout, too. Suter, Spurgeon taking it over. Roussel hanging on to Parise. Roussel to Parise. Parise took that pass as Roussel was following him, and Lehtinen makes a sharp stop.
That's proximity defending, and it's not good enough. This is a real good save by Kari Lehtinen. There goes Parise to the front, little holding the stick to get free. And as he goes to the net, watch this. It's away from Roussel. Goligoski's got a multitask, and on that little cutter, yeah, even he was shocked by how close that one came when he watched it on the big screen.
Benn and Pominville. Pominville to the boards. It's Klingberg, Goligoski, Seguin, and Benn. Seguin to Benn in the Dallas zone. Here they come. Klingberg. The pass was tipped by Granlund. Stars have to reorganize. They go back to attack. Benn takes the line, stops. Pivots away. Punched it forward to Sagan. Swung it around. Ben there to collect it. Out to Klingberg at the left point. Passing to Goligoski. Got it through to Ben. Ben, toe drag. Ben took it back at the net. Spurgeon pawing at him in the corner now. Ben tried to pass it, and Klingberg attempting to hold it at center ice. Granlund stepping past. He falls along the near boards. Worked it forward to Pominville. Scandella probing deep. Out to the line. Brodin shooting. Tipped wide. Sagan and Ben at the end of a shift. And Sagan will shoot it in to get the change. 3:25 left in the 4-on-4. Cole in with another hit. Scandella has the Wild overtime game winner this season against Winnipeg. Demers popped it forward. There goes Spezza, tearing into the zone. And it's poke checked away. Parisi and Brodin were there. Spezza threw it in front. Stars are backing out to defend. And here comes Vanek. It's one shot in the game, and he tied it. Parisi in front. Scandella scores! And the Wild win a wild one here in Dallas, 5-4.
Well, they had their rush chance, the Stars did, with Spezza, who looked like he was going to split the D, but Parisi cuts him down, and then Zach Parisi skates right past Eric Cole. Cole can't hang with him. Little nudge play back right through Trevor Daley, who's had a forgettable couple of shifts here late in the game. Cole can't stay with him. He gets inside, bunt, smack. The defenseman who was up on things earlier, Scandella, with a deft little deflection on the back door, goes through Kari Lehtinen. They stunned the Stars. The Stars came back to sting the Wild, and then the Wild come back in the late stages. The Stars they just are having a real tough time. They're slow learners in how to win.
Wild win 5-4 in overtime. The post-game show is coming up after these important words.